Okay, what I'm doing here, first off, this is a 3.5 Redcat Racing Nitro RC 4-wheel drive gas RC car, truck, whatever you want to call it. The problem that I'm having right now, as you can see, is I have two motors sitting here. The first motor that came with it, the one-way bearing, it actually goes inside here like this. I'm trying to record and do this at the same time. But it goes in there like that, and it kind of pushes in there and seats in there well. And then you have this, which is the starter shaft that goes in here. And what this all does, is supposed to do, is when it turns, it's supposed to catch the one-way bearing, which this right here is the one-way bearing. Okay, these go bad very, very easily. As you can see, there's a bunch of roller pins in there. They're called roller bearings. And that shaft goes inside of it like so, and it catches, which, and then when you pull on it, it starts the motor when you have the igniter on top of it. Well, they go bad. I'll show you an example of a bad one here. Let me find it. I gotta find it. What did I do with it? Here it is. Okay, if you look in there, a lot of the roller pins are missing. This thing actually, the roller pins came out of this one. As you can see right there, there's none. And it's supposed to be all the way around. Like that. Well, what happens is these fall out, and then they go inside the motor here, which right there is the piston arm. The crank's right all in there. And then if you look up more, you got your piston sleeve, and then the piston. Well, one of the roller pins ended up getting wedged in between the piston and the piston sleeve as the motor was running up and down. So I thought it ruined the motor, and I know it did some damage to it. It'll never run like it did before, but I think I repaired it enough to where it'll actually fire again at least. But I don't think it'll ever run like it did. But that's what happens, and then you have to do a warranty claim. Well, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take all this stuff apart, and then you're going to have to send pictures in to Redcat Racing. Now, one thing that is good about Redcat Racing, they warranty their product if you show them the proof. Don't try and give them a bull crap claim just to get a free motor. Okay, that's not going to work. The way they do it is you send pictures in, and they want VIN numbers and all that off the vehicle and all that, because they can match up the parts that are actually on the vehicle. So don't try and just scam them, because that won't work. What you're going to want to do, you're going to want to do it the correct way. If something goes wrong within 90 days, they will warranty it, unless it has something to do with a clutch, or you break an arm on the vehicle, such as one of these or something like that. They don't. But anything electronical, oh yeah, and they don't do the sprue gears. Go ahead and do yourself a favor and buy a metal sprue gear. That's what I did. I went through my first sprue gear in no time flat. I am on my second transmission. There ended up being a faulty part in my transmission. Redcat Racing had it shipped out to me in 3 days. I took pictures of it. I sent it in to them. They sent me the replacement part. I mean, they do stand behind their warranty, and it's not a joke. So that is one thing that I really do love about Redcat Racing. I've had low C's. I've had you name it, and I've had it for an RC car. And nobody, and I say nobody, does their warranty and can stand behind their warranty as good as Redcat does. It doesn't happen. For whatever reason, they are just on top of their product. Yes, granted, this is only, a $269 vehicle, and you can buy it right off Amazon for that. And, that's a lot of money to, people. But if you are a hobbyist like I am, and I've spent $800-900 on vehicles this big, no problem, and had difficulties getting the warranty work. So, Redcat Racing, good for warranty work. So they sent me out the replacement one-way bearing, and I actually have it all assembled right here, and this is how it goes together. Okay, there's 2 more screws that go in there that go in the back plate of the motor, and that I'm trying to do this with one hand, so it's kind of hard. And then that goes on just like that. And then that turns, which then turns the motor. See it wanting to turn? This is a bad example because I only have one hand right now. But I assure you that is working correctly now. Once again, the bad one. None of the roller bearings fell out of this, but what happened is they started separating, which means they're very, very close to falling out. And these are like $6 online. And what'll happen is you'll just sit there and you'll go to pull your cord, your pull start, and it won't turn the motor. That's how you know your one-way bearing is going bad. Okay? Now for the 1/10 scales, they're not like this. They're different. It's a completely different setup. This is only, I believe, for the .21 and .28 engines that Redcat Racing deals with. So, this is not for the .18 and the .16 motors. Will not work. I don't believe it's not the same setup. Not that I know of, unless they have went to this style. But I like the smaller engine setup, the .18 setup, a lot better. I just think it doesn't wear near as fast as this setup does. Granted, this is a good idea, but it's just the one-way bearings just always seem to go out. This is my 3rd one. I mean, I know I've only owned this for like 4 or 5 months, and I've went through 3 of these, but I've also probably put about 9 hours worth of runtime on this vehicle, if not more. I went through, that is my 3rd one of gallon fuel. That is a gallon of fuel. That is my 3rd one. So, if that tells you how much I play with it. So, it's not like I bought it and it, broke right away. It's just things happen. They're man-made parts. Understand it. If it's within the warranty time, the 90 days, the supplier will replace it. So, that's it, really. But that's what you got to do. And then you just put everything back together. Definitely try it out before you put it back on the truck. Because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to waste your time putting all that back together and then you get it back on the truck and then realize it doesn't work. Always make sure everything's working that you fix before you put it back together. Because these things can be kind of a hassle to tear apart. Now, I've done it so many times, I can literally take that motor out of there in about 2 minutes. Because I've done it so many times. On this vehicle, too. A lot of people, they get frustrated and they just end up throwing these away or selling them or something like that. This, to me, is part of the hobby. This is what I like to do. I like to fix them. I like breaking them, and I like fixing them. So this is part of it for me. If you're a true hobbyist, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. And then another thing that I did that a lot of people don't know you can do, I actually took the front drive shaft out of my four-wheel drive vehicle just to see how it would run and how it would operate. It's a little bit funner. I noticed you'll go through the tires a little bit worse, but It's a little quicker. The handling, it's a little harder, but I figured I'd try it out. I just stuck it in a little plastic bag right here for whenever I'm ready for it to go back on. So that you can do if you wanted to. But like I said, Redcat Racing really stands behind their product. I know I see videos out there saying, oh, this thing's a cheap piece of crap. Oh, this thing's garbage. And I mean, honestly, what do you expect for the price? Because I'll tell you, a Losi 1/8 scale can range anywhere from $600 to $900. To get one of these for half that cost and then not have to ever put any money into them is unheard of. It just don't happen. So remember, it's man-made. It's all about how you are into the hobby. So if you just want to race them and crash them and bash them and do no maintenance, then gas isn't for you. Go with electric. And then that can even be difficult. But I think a really good bang for the buck. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm working on it quite a bit, but that's because of how hard I am on it and how often I use it. So, that's it. But that is how you take the one-way bearing out and replace it. So, thank you. Have a good day.